Today, on Be Something Wonderful, I gave up all other stories except I am. And then she said yes. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Big video this morning. This was unplanned. I've had sessions all morning, and I'm traveling today. So I really wasn't expecting to do a video because I was going to prepare for the trip, but this session was so cool and so fun. It's a new client, but he's been a subscriber now for over a year. And this is a specific person story, an SP story. But again, it applies to all things. And so I really unpacked this with him today so he could really understand what the movement that he made in terms of his SP. He had been asking, they've been going out for almost 2 years. And for the last several months, he's been talking about marriage, right? And her answers have always been the same, not yet, not now, maybe someday when this happens, this type of thing, right? It's just no, it's not yet, right? And she was saying, look, let's not put all this pressure on us. She had been married before, right? Or she has been married before, right? So she was in no rush to get married, if ever, is what her conversations with him have been. She goes, but if I were to get married, it would be a yes, and you would know it, right? You would know it. And so he just went with it. And he stopped trying to make something happen in 3D reality. He was affirming. He had some imaginal acts, different ones that he talked about, seeing the engagement ring or seeing them engaged, seeing them married, going right to the end, even seeing them with kids at one point, right? He was affirming all this. But what we had talked about and what he discovered is that he was telling the story that's not her story, not yet, not now, maybe someday when this happens. That is his story. Do you see it? Remember, she is just a reflection of him. She is just reflecting his assumptions. That was his story, those assumptions. So he wasn't telling the story of I am married or I am that I am. He was telling the story of not yet, not now, right? It was his story, not hers. So although he was firming it and imagining it, he was hearing or feeling something else. He was seeing the no. Right? And then I think he said one of those videos where God always says yes really got me in that idea that yes is the only reality. That I am is yes, is always yes to what I want. And so the only affirmation that he moved to, the intention was there, is just I am. He made this his only reality, right? That implies everything. This is what we've been talking about. He said, especially the last few months of videos. He goes, really hit him. And there's no other reality. So he works remotely. She travels a little bit for her work. They don't live together. And she had sent him a message as she was coming back from one of her trips. And the message was just yes with an exclamation point. He knew what that meant. And it was almost like he said, I was definitely excited. But it almost like that yes became my reality. Hear this, yes became his only reality. And she said that he would know, right? So he texts back, they exchange messages, beautiful thing. They're planning on getting married, but let's do the lesson behind it. And we're gonna hear more on this. We have another session next week, a follow-up session. So I'll keep you posted. Neville says, to know that I am is to be conscious of being. This is what he moved to. This is what we unpacked this morning, right? That to know that I am is to be conscious of being. Being what? It doesn't matter, right? You get to decide that. But if you're trying to affirm something but creating another story around that affirmation, not ready, not yet, right? Him believing in that, he creates a story of not being conscious of being that what he wants to be. So he just moved to I am, just to be conscious of being. In that, there's no waiting. There's no wondering, and there's no doubt. There's none of those things that he had as he was trying to affirm it. Now, I'm not saying don't affirm and imagine specifically. Of course you can. And that has all the power, but he was creating another story around that. So when he moved to I am, he dropped that story. Right? Now is the only reality. I am is the only reality. Unless you're conscious of being that which you seek in vain. Neville got it. So he became conscious as just being I am, having all that I am says yes, that yes is his only reality. This is great. I am engaged, it was implying to him. Just remember, everybody's going to have a different experience. To him, it was implying I'm not engaged yet. Not yet. Right? Hearing her saying that, thinking that maybe she doesn't want to get engaged, doesn't want to get married. There's only one story. He went to he also talked about that video we did with that one client that said there's only the fulfillment's the only story. Right? That really hit him as well. But fulfillment's your only story. That story is yes. That's the only story. I am always says yes. So this is powerful. As we control our inner talking, matching it to fulfilled desires, we can lay aside all other processes. He laid aside all other stories of implied non-fulfillment. Do you hear it? I've used this quote a lot, but we talked about this in this quote this morning, but I put it in this words, that what you did is laid aside all other stories that implied non-fulfillment and told the only story of absolute fulfillment where there's no doubt possible, where non-fulfillment doesn't exist. I am. Do you see it? The intention was known. Right? God doesn't get mixed up. God doesn't get confused. God knows what you want. He went to I am. The constant affirmation and trying to imagine I'm engaged or I'm married or whatever. Creating the experience of I am not. That's what he was really doing, right? Yet, but if I keep affirming and imagining, I will be. Right? So he was creating this experience of I am not. But thinking that if he keeps affirming and imagining, he will be engaged. He put another condition on it, right? That affirming and that imagining is a condition for him to being it, right? He created another condition to be met. Until this condition is met, I won't have what I want. That's what he was really saying, right? She won't say yes until I really affirm and imagine this. Right? But as he went to I am, there's none of that. There's none of that doubt. There are no conditions on I am. It's unconditional. As he went to that, none of those conditions dropped aside. He moved into the only reality of yes. I am always says yes. I am never says not or no. Do you hear this? So this is what Neville Goddard says. Prayer must be without effort and attempting to fix an attitude of mind which is denied by the senses. Effort is senses. Effort is fatal. So prayer must be without effort in attempting to fix an attitude of mind which is denied by the senses. Effort is fatal. That's what happened. He was using that effort, right? I am, remember, is effortless. I am can't be denied by the senses or anything or anybody, not you or anybody else. It cannot be denied. It's effortless. And I am is the truth of being. Belief is not required. Didn't require belief. Doesn't require effort, and it can't be denied by the senses. It's the perfect affirmation. God always says yes. I gave up all other stories except I am. Then she said yes. And it was a hell yes, really. That's what we were talking about. This is Tom Kearin with the Be Something Wonderful Studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being a part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. For joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. Also for joining our membership channel. There's a link below if you haven't joined, if you want to. There's going to be some more live streams on the membership channel and more content, more videos, even as we're traveling. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being here. Just a reminder that I will be announcing the 5th live stream soon. I will keep you posted. But until then, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom with Be Something Wonderful. We'll see you soon.